is just fantastic.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Sorry for not having anything for you yesterday. I really am sorry about that, but I was not very well. We're doing a bit better today, but I'm going to refrain from being at the computer for too long. So we're going to follow up with a video from 2 days ago with the same person with another topic. In a video titled, I Need to Make Something Very Clear, Weigh-In episode number 3. Now the weigh-in's the part I really care about. She is still going up, and of course, we need to see whether she's managed to get any of this under control, which I doubt. She'll brag about it if it's down like a pound, but let's face it here, that means very little. As with all her videos, the like to dislike is very much against her, and there are not as many comments. This is a very new video, but the top comment, I need a life. And I love how she considers her 4,000 calorie day a cheat day. Girl, that's a maintenance calorie day for you. I'm glad more people are calling this what it is, because if I ate 4,000 calories, I would expect to put weight on unless I spent at least 3 to 4 hours on a treadmill, or I was like Eddie Hall, territory of eating. The final comment, keep blaming the water for being 530 pounds. You're not 530 pounds of water. I said that wrong, didn't I? Okay, if she's near 530, that means she would have gone up nearly 11 pounds since I last spoke of a weigh-in on this channel. Congratulations. Let's dive right in.
Hello, welcome to a new weigh-in video, number 3 to be exact. Today is April 8th on a Tuesday. So in the beginning of my weigh-in videos, I answer 5 questions that you guys have asked me on Instagram, so let's get into it. Did you come up with the food for thought questions that you ask yourself at the end of your What I Ate Today videos?
To be honest, much like with the Instagram questions, I could believe that everything is entirely scripted by Amber in her journey, where instead of actually allowing anyone to ask her a question that would matter, she would control as much of the narrative as possible. Because she's all-seeing, all-knowing, she knows damn well that there's no chance she'll put any of the actual questions her haters ask her. Yes, I said that word on purpose, you're welcome.
Yes, I did. I really love doing stuff like that. Like, my dream still is to come out with a guided journal. I think that would be so freaking awesome. I love to not only answer questions, but I love to ask them as well.
I love that in your head, you think that this makes you an insightful individual. Yet, because of who it comes from, and her inability to commit to any positive change for herself, this all comes across as disingenuous, plastic, brittle. You are anything but somebody that can impact positively another person's life, unless you're used as a case study for how to fail at literally anything weight loss related.
Why don't you count the food that you have out as ordering takeout? Because this specific goal was about my relationship with ordering takeout food. It has honestly been a very, very, very bad habit that I have dealt with every day for years.
Okay, firstly, we can be pedantic or play semantics, it doesn't matter to me in the slightest. If you get food from any place that serves fast food, it's fast food. Chantal tried this crap with her funerals and was immediately breaking it. You are no different. You say dealing with it for years. Yes, but only when you get a new phone and putting them into your new speed dial settings. You've never properly tackled this problem because you're an addict. You're an addict to short-term sensation and nothing for long-term growth or sustainability, unless that sustainability is solely centered around you maintaining your mass. I swear the only reason you refuse to lose weight these days is because you don't want to buy new clothes. Well, for a smaller size.
I have relied on it for convenience, out of boredom, just because I wanted to. I was too lazy to cook.
You speak of it in the past tense. Amber, we all know, and I want to do the clappy clap thing when I say this. You are predictable. You don't do it because of that. You do it because you can't make food that tastes anywhere near as good, according to your rather defective taste buds. You've grown up in privilege, and now you have the ability to do it, you will do it. The only way you'll ever stop is when you lose all of it and are reliant on food stamps, because you can't affect any change otherwise. For as long as you're on this platform, I genuinely don't believe you'll ever succeed. And there's no way you're pulling a Nick Ricardo, because you can't do that. You're not smart enough.
And these are all the things that I am trying to actively work on. And going to have a meal with my mom at bingo, or if we go out to eat, I would still, for my other meal, come home and order takeout. Like, Uber has just been like one of my worst habits.
Again with the past tense. Firstly, we know why you're doing it. Again, it's about sustainability. You are not, Amber, attempting to affect any meaningful change within your life, in the positive that is. You won't do it either. Again, you have too much. It's why you won't make an effort. You have no reason to. Even when you've had shocks to your system with your health deteriorating, which is only going to get worse as you get older, you've still gone back to the tried and true method. Tried and true? Yes, sure. Method of just gorging.
Like, truly, one of my very worst habits. So this goal was for me to improve in that. Going out and having a meal at bingo or having a meal wherever with my mom, that's about like connection and spending time. While Uber was definitely not about that. Uber was about convenience and the fact that I'm lazy and the fact that I'm addicted to ordering takeout.
I could believe that's true, you know. But I can also believe it's because, more than anything in the world, you can't make anything taste half as good as the takeaway you eat. Which is interesting because a lot of the takeaway you've shown us you eating isn't stuff you've ever tried before, which contradicts many statements you've had before about your claimed food anxiety. Food anxiety can come about because of things like food poisoning, sure, but based on how much you eat, you either have the jammiest digestive system, or you just can't tell if you've got it or not.
From my app, having it delivered to my home. The problem I'm actively targeting is stopping that, or at least lessening it drastically. I'm not gonna sit here and take away having a meal with my mom at bingo, because that's not the issue.
Well, here's a solution for you, Amber. Get rid of the smartphone. No lie, just get rid of it. Get rid of any device that has that app on it, and go back to the good old days of using a telephone. Because apparently in the age of convenience, you are now willing to blame it for your laziness, your dependency, as it were. Either that, or go into the app stores and find a way to have them not recommended to you. That might help you as well. But knowing you, you'll just go to DoorDash instead.
That's not what's gonna make me gain weight. That's not what's causing laziness, and it's never out of boredom. I'm not trying to overhaul everything in my whole life and just wake up overnight and be like, I cannot even eat out. I cannot eat with my mom at bingo. Nope, not allowed.
To be honest, at this stage of your life, because of how much you failed when it came to moderation, and are still failing to this day, you should. You should 100% go cold turkey on everything. Because you've tried everything else, and you haven't just failed, you have magnificently quit within a day. You should live stream one whole day in your life, one whole day. Consider it a challenge. I dare, double dog dare you to do one 24-hour live stream where we get to see what you actually eat throughout a day.
So my goal was to pick something that is like drastically making it to where I don't reach my goals at all. And that is what I'm targeting, like mentally and emotionally. Ordering takeout from my Uber Eats and having it delivered to me daily for years and years, sometimes twice a day, is very unhealthy. That is what is ultimately holding me back the most.
Yes, of course, Amber, that's what's holding you back. I totally, 100% unequivocally believe you.
Will you start a GoFundMe for us supporters to help you go to inpatient? Absolutely not. I would never in my life start a GoFundMe.
You'll also never go into inpatient. Why?
Because it means giving up control of your life, and you can't do that. The only life you want to live is the one where you're in absolute control, which is why every psychiatrist you magically have for the small amount of time you have them is nothing more than a glorified paid sycophant.
It's why you surround yourself with people who only prop you up. So just your mother right now, because you have no friend.
There's like multiple reasons for that, but the biggest one is like, I don't want other people to use their money for something that I should be saving for myself.
Which is why we know you won't do it, because you'd rather spend it on not FDA approved semaglutide twice, and failing it twice. If you do it again, does it count as a proper scientific experiment, even though you don't know Ozempic as well? And at that point, you really should have just used all the money instead of on semaglutide on inpatient care. But another reason why is because you don't want to not make content. You need to make content because validation of internet, even though you don't get much in the way of validation on this platform, or anywhere for that matter, except for TikTok, your thirst posting is still there, isn't it?
If you want to donate to someone, donate to a cause or a person that actually genuinely needs that money.
Amber's only saying this because no one would donate to this, and she knows it.
How do you feel about fat jokes? So I make a lot of fat jokes about myself. I don't know if you guys know that about me.
No, because you don't do it in either your videos or live streams. You don't do it on Snapchat, you don't do it on Instagram. No, you thirst post. I don't think you're a fat joke taker. but I know damn well you're a fat stroke receiver. Content Constable Part 3 on Amberlynn Reid is basically me just making every fat joke I can at you. I made some other jokes as well about sexuality, but those are hit and miss because people got offended.
But I do. And that is something I've always done. I've had a couple people in my life who didn't like it. They didn't like hearing me do it. They thought I was being rude to myself.
It's called self-deprecation, something which you're not particularly good at. It's also cultural appropriation. You'll find, because of your genetics, it's not hardwired into you. I'm English. It is hardwired into my genetics, and we're allowed to do it.
I've had cancer.
No, Amber. You've not had cancer. You are cancer.
So if I want to make a uterine cancer joke, I'm allowed to do it because I suffered through it. Or if I want to make a foster care joke, or just anything that is like something that happened to me or is me.
Fam, most of that's only in your head, but okay. Also, it's called an appeal to authority. Apparently you think comedy's based around life experience to justify why you make or can make those jokes. That's not how this works. If that were the case, many of the jokes I've made in the past at the expense of others would make me cancelable.
I feel like I'm allowed to do that, but if I see like a skinny person make a fat joke, or if I hear someone who's never had cancer make a cancer joke, it's like, bro, you don't have the right to do that.
By that logic, all rape jokes go out the window, suicide as well, and I've made plenty of those in my lifetime, and I know tasteless, tactless. Comedy's subjective, the window of acceptable comedy has gotten smaller. What we say when we're younger is not necessarily acceptable now, when it should be. Would I be right to assume that in the near future you're going to make missing cat jokes, since you've gone through that?
Why did you say no to having an ice cream cone with your mom if you allow yourself to eat those things anyway? Because I hadn't even ate that day, so I know if I had an ice cream cone as my first meal, then that was gonna spiral my whole day. It's about the headspace that I go into eating a certain thing.
Oh, the desperate need to mentally gymnastic our way through everything. The only time you're ever close to being a gymnast. Let's face it, you are a micromanaging control freak. You will only accept if you're paying for it, if you're in control of it. If someone else does it for you, your anxiety tells you, your head tells you, well, my day is ruined, so I must eat junk food for the remainder of it. That's how you interpret. And it's not I hadn't ate that day, it's I had not eaten yet. Get that into your head, you uncultured swine!
Like, yes, I will allow myself to have an ice cream cone, but definitely not as my first meal. Twinkie keeps moving. I'm sure you guys have noticed, like, she has gone from behind me to this side to everywhere, so don't mind that, sorry.
It's okay. Twinkie's getting her 10k steps in. That's why it took her so long to get from one side to the other.
Alright, so let's talk about the 4 goals that I had this week. So the first one was only order takeout 3 times a week, drink 2 water bottles a day, log all of my calories on Noom, even if I go over, and do intermittent fasting where I can only allowed to eat in an 8-hour window and I don't get to eat for 16 hours.
Okay, so unless she intends to show us her Noom records, this is redundant. The intermittent fasting is the wrong way round for her, because there's no way she'll be able to sustain 16 hours of not eating unless she's sleeping for 16 hours. Which I could believe, but it's not the winter right now and bears don't usually go to sleep in April. Well, for this reason anyway. Also, 16 hours for someone of her size is not believable or doable. Let's face it, but I'm not surprised she's piggybacked on that stupid ad that's doing its rounds all over YouTube.
So as for ordering takeout 3 times a week, I ordered sushi on Thursday and I also ordered sushi on Sunday, and that is the only 2 times that I ordered takeout. So it was 2 times this week. What? So I was successful in that goal.
I know your mouth is saying one thing, but your eyes say something else. It's a weird flex, by the way, to say, I ate sushi. Fam, you could have eaten pizza from a place called Sushi. How are we to know otherwise? And no one believes it was only 2 times a week. Unless you fell asleep for the remainder of these 6.5 days where you didn't totally eat takeout.
Drink 2 water bottles? Yes, I did it. I did it every single day, and it's literally becoming such a habit for me. I do not allow myself to drink anything until I have drank those 2 water bottles. And now it's just like literally a habit. I don't even think I need it to be a goal anymore.
For as long as you've been on the internet, you've owned many different types of the same thing. This would include different types of water bottles and jugs. You even had one that had the times on for how much water you should drink for every hour. Where are they? Why aren't you using them? How is it a flex that you're drinking 500 millilitres of water per bottle twice a day? It isn't. Also, drinking that does not offset all the sweeteners, the salts, all the carbs you're consuming on a regular.
As for logging all my calories on Noom, no matter what, did I do that? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And one of those days, oh God.
If you're going to now say you've catalogued your something on a crappy little app like Noom, the least you could do is prove it to everyone else. Since you're the type to journal, I'm actually impressed you'd use something like Noom instead of a journaling book and write your calories in that. Because you have so much free time in the day, you could sit there with the packaging and of course a little Google internet search for all the real takeaway you eat and actually show us how much you're eating. Although since you went, oh no, I'm a kid, we all know you're about to say something that makes it seem like a cheat day but isn't, and that will then confirm the comment we got earlier.
I hated it, and what I hated even more was stepping on the scale the next day. It was not pretty, I'll tell you that. And did I do intermittent fasting? No, I didn't.
I love that you're trying to do the whole quirky thing with the failing part. Right, good luck with that. Everyone sees through your nonsense, especially when they see behind the curtain, as it were, through your members-only live streams. Clips of which Twitter just love so much. You not doing intermittent fasting is not a surprise, because there's more chance of you doing it if it's the other way around. 16 hours where you're allowed to eat, and 8 hours where you're not. That's more likely, because you're asleep for possibly 8 hours, maybe slightly longer.
Day one, I realized I am forcing myself to eat when I'm not hungry, but then I'm not allowed to eat when I am. I can't do that,
You do realise that's all in your head, right? First of all, your goal was completely unrealistic. Don't forget here, those who are much slimmer, take for example Gwyneth Paltrow. She does fast, but she fasts less than you do. Also, you only wanting to eat when you're not hungry is that thing of, I want it because I can't have it. It's all in your head.
So that's the only goal I was unsuccessful on. I am not going to force myself to eat when I'm not hungry. I just am not going to. So I didn't do IF, and I never will.
That's right, guys. Lesson learned. She is a better, new and more improved Amber now.
Alright, so now let's talk about how my week went. It actually went pretty freaking good, especially the beginning, but I'm realizing that the weekends are a lot harder for me. So I stayed below my calories 6 days out of the 7 days that I was supposed to. I genuinely don't know what happened.
I can give you a few obvious ones. Firstly, you're lying anyway, so none of this really matters. Second, it's called shoveling food into your face. Third, you have to pay attention if you want to commit to change. It involves every day of the week. You don't take it as a whole week, you take it by each individual day. That way you don't set yourself up to fail when you start to crumble, and you don't immediately quit when things start to crumble. Fourth, many people like to base, like for example Sundays, the day of rest, based on old religious practices. So they do indulge a little more than they would any other time of the week. It's just a shame though you treat every day as a day of rest, so Sunday you go double on it.
But Sunday, I ate so much. I genuinely just could not get satisfied. I could not get full.
Amber, you don't have to be full to be satisfied. But if you interpret satisfaction as being full, well, there are some jokes here. There are many jokes, in fact. I'm going to refrain from all of them because they'll get me demonetized. I will, however, say instead, you have the wrong attitude when it comes to a meal. A good meal doesn't have to carry much weight within it. It just has to have enough nutritional value to benefit our body as much as possible. Your unhealthy attitude towards food in the first place is why you will never be slim, or slimmer than what you currently are. It's why you are actually quite close to the Take-Two electric boogaloo of being bedbound, and then summarily wiped by your mother while backing that ass up into the kitchen counter.
And even though I overate drastically, I still logged every single calorie, and when I stepped on the scale the next day, I was up 5 pounds.
Try not to be too surprised by being up 5 pounds when you base satisfaction on having a full stomach. Which stomach you're referring to is a complete mystery to me though.
Fully aware it's not real weight. It's a lot of water weight. It's a lot of sodium. It's a lot of fluid. I'm fully aware of that, just in the same way of I was losing 2 pounds a day almost in the beginning of this week.
Firstly, water weight is only true if you drink gallons of it daily. You don't. Second, high sodium, sure, but only because you watch so much of the haters. 3, 2 pounds a day. Do you have food poisoning as well?
This last week that just happened. And that's also a lot of water weight. That's just what happens. Your body crazy fluctuates when you start a diet or when you overeat. It's just what your body does. So it was a lot of hectacana on the scale. It was so good.
Hectacana is not a word. You trying to justify or explain away your failings is one of the many reasons why you never make progress, because you cannot simply accept you screw up. It has to be attributed to something else. However, you've highlighted the water weight and the sodium. Well, you're the one cataloguing your food, so why don't you stop going towards those foods? I genuinely believe you're only ever going to achieve anything by going cold turkey. Genuinely. Because I can't see how you're ever going to get out of this hole, this rut, this existence of a life where you dig the hole for yourself, so we don't have to when you eventually croak.
And then that one day of overeating as drastically as I did and all that like sodium and water weight that I gained, I was not happy with myself. So something I noticed about Noom, since they want you to weigh yourself daily, like if you lose a good amount of weight, like it literally changes the calories every single day. So I noticed every pound I would lose, it would like lower my calories by like 5 or 10, which I kind of liked that. Anyways, let's get into my weigh-in. So last week I was 523.8,
which was up from 519.8, because you were doing so damn well. And by the way, when you're on your path to half-ton heifer, anything about weight loss here means absolutely nothing, because it could be the difference between you taking one large cornfield crap or not.
And today I was, dun-ta-da, oh my god, do we have an earthquake? 518.0, and that's amazing, but I'm just over here thinking, how much more amazing would it have been if I wouldn't have overate that one day? So that means I'm down 5.8 pounds this week, pretty much 6, not gonna lie.
It's not necessarily impressive, and I'm certainly not going to celebrate anything you say concerning weight loss at all, because you don't do anything to justify weight loss beyond reducing your calories. That's all you do. You don't walk, you don't exercise, you just exist. You are gluttony, you will always be gluttony. I would love nothing more than for you to succeed and actually get somewhere, but you don't want to. So this isn't much of a flex, it's part of your continued cycle. Blame it on the water weight, the sodium. Oh, I had a blip, but it's okay, I saved myself! Oh my god! Bitch, no. You just cut your calories a little. And not by enough, because you're in the thousands more than anyone else that isn't super morbidly obese, or a, well, professional weightlifter.
I'm very proud of that because I'm not doing anything super drastic. It is hard though, like counting every single calorie that goes into my mouth. Like, it's annoying. I hate it. It's frustrating.
You are fundamentally wrong on everything you just said. It's not frustrating, it's not annoying, it's not difficult in the slightest. It takes 5 seconds because calories are written on everything we buy. And if it's fast food related, you have to then look it up online. If you really care, that's what you have to do. If you can't do that, chances are it's because you're too mentally handicapped, which is why inpatient may well be better for you.
But it's like, stay within that calorie limit. I definitely need to continue doing that. So Noom does give me like 2,600 calories to 3,400 calories. I always stayed below 2,600. So I want to make that very clear. Besides the one day I overate, I literally had 4,000 calories.
This has already been debunked many times. To maintain your weight, you would have to eat at least 3,400. At least. You would have to be eating closer to 4,000 though, to stay there. You see, the body plateaus when it comes to gaining weight. It's why there are many more who have to do more, eat more to get up. In the weight numbers, that is. It's why nobody believes what you say on this one, and it is considered nothing more than your average day. The difference is how you take the calories in, whether it be something healthier, or whether it be something that is entirely junk-based.
So it was a really good weigh-in. I know it's a lot of water weight. I know I just need to stay on track, and I know I'm not going to be perfect. I'm probably going to have another day where I f up this week. This is genuinely not about perfection.
The only thing I'm interested with is your complete lack of showing evidence of a weigh-in. Usually we get the ceiling while you weigh yourself so we can hear it. So I immediately dismiss your claim of a weigh-in anyway. I'm going to dismiss it every single time, in fact. You're a half-ton heifer. Sorry, on par for it, Amber. You have yet to set your goals for next week, but let's face it, no one cares. This series of yours is quaint and an excuse to make a longer sit-down rant where you don't have to actually do anything beyond mildly prepared to cover certain topics. The laziness you're allowed to exhibit in this content is the only thing that matters to you, because then you get to make it seem like you're doing something. You're over 500 pounds. There is, at this point, minimal effort required to lose weight. Don't forget here, I've seen you sat on this couch espousing your 489 poundness. You then went on to put on many pounds while you were in Wisconsin losing your cat. Like, there is a level of laziness here. You didn't have to do anything. And this is a persisting problem with your life. You will not do anything to change it for the better, because to do so would mean to actually be a better person, and you're a terrible person. You've always been a terrible person. There is nothing genuine nice about you. You just reek of entitlement and perfume to hide the booty-stained smells.
So my goals for this week is order takeout 3 times a week. I really want to have a successful weekend. What I consider successful, more successful than that Sunday.
So, odds on Amber putting weight on next week, or thinking if she loses 3 to 2 pounds, that's somehow a success for weighing over 500 pounds?